couple of days ago I posted a video showcasing Hyrule's differences between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, pointing out changes in the overworld between the games. Because, for the most part, Hyrule is the exact same, with the obvious exception of sky islands floating above it. A wild, untamed Hyrule on the surface and groups of floating islands above is obviously incredibly similar to Skyward Sword, though it seems the way the game's worlds are designed couldn't be more different. Here's Commonwealth Realm to explain.
When developing Skyward Sword, Aonuma was disappointed by how players could only access the surface from very restricted points, and there was no way to explore the space that surrounded these areas. So I think it is very unlikely that we'll see anything close to that with Tears of the Kingdom, and we'll be able to freely move around the entire world unrestricted. Instead, it looks like Link will be able to travel between Breath of the Wild's Hyrule surface and the skies above it seamlessly. The newest trailer highlights this by showing Link moving upwards by reversing the momentum of a fallen block of stone, as well as him jumping off the edge of a sky island, falling through the clouds and continuing to drop towards the surface. This won't be like Skyward Sword, where a loading screen separates sky and surface. Breath of the Wild lets the player travel anywhere seamlessly, and it looks like Tears of the Kingdom will continue this design philosophy by allowing travel from air to ground to air again without loading screens.
It doesn't look like there's a huge difference between the surface of Hyrule of Breath of the Wild and the Hyrule of Tears of the Kingdom. The landscape is almost exactly the same, so the islands above it have to be the game's major focus unless there's something else we're not seeing yet. We can see from the shot in the Faron region that actually getting up to the Sky Islands will be something of a challenge. This group of islands is surrounded by a thunderstorm, and the sky is patrolled by a new enemy, some sort of winged creature. Of course, Link has all manner of ways to travel down. He can skydive, paraglide, or use this new stone glider to move about while dropping altitude. The main challenge will be the climb. We don't know how much of the sky area we've seen during trailers. In this shot, we can see clusters hovering over the Faron region, a massive set of islands over towards Necluda, and there's of course the large group near Tanagar Canyon shown off here. There's a handful of smaller islands scattered about, but as far as we can see from looking around, that's it. Some of them are relatively high up in the air, but many are very close to the surface, and we can assume that Link will be able to reach them by reversing the momentum of fallen stone, using his new jump ability, or even by paragliding from nearby mountains. It is worth mentioning how two groups of sky islands hover directly over Zonai ruins, the Thundra Plateau near Tanagar Canyon and the Zonai ruins in Faron Woods. We can see from the new trailer footage that there absolutely, irrefutably is a connection between the Zonai and these sky islands. The stone dragons match up exactly, so perhaps there's some significance to the locations of these groups of islands. It's also notable that we've seen multiple different shots of multiple different sky islands all across Hyrule, but there seems to be very little differences between them. We can see some islands with snowy tops, hinting at different climates, but the actual structures are all the same ancient Shinto shrine design. We've also seen the same tower structure in a few different clips. Perhaps we're looking at multiple different towers with the same design, or different angles of the same building. If there are multiple of these towers, which I'd lean more towards based on the clips we've seen, then they might serve as Sheikah Shrine-like mini dungeons that Link will have to climb to and work through. Because with the Sheikah Shrines apparently vanished from Hyrule, something needs to fill that void. It could be that this is what the Sky Islands are for, small challenges littered across Hyrule to break up exploration and provide upgrades for Link. But I'd love there to be more to the islands, like villages or towns in the sky. The Sky Islands seem to be the only massive change to the overworld, so can this really be it? A group of islands here and there, all relatively close to the surface, or are we missing something? In this shot from the new trailer, we see Link run and jump off of a massive group of islands, then freefall towards the surface. It's quite hard to make out, but we can match up this shot of Hyrule below by looking at the lakes and rivers, and work out that Link is falling somewhere southwest of the Lanayru wetlands and the entrance to Zora's domain, somewhere about here on the map. But we get a really good look at the skies above this area in the shot where Link falls onto the stone glider, and there's no island group there. There is this massive cluster of islands, but judging from the colours it looks much further out, and although it looks to be quite high up, I don't think it's high enough to make this shot of Link falling towards Hyrule possible. I don't think that we can match this shot with any of the islands we see here, which could mean that Hyrule's skies might be much bigger than we can see, and some islands will be much higher up than the others. From the very beginning, Breath of the Wild offered the player a single, simple challenge: get to Hyrule Castle and defeat Ganon. The capital can be seen from almost anywhere across Hyrule, reminding the player of their main goal, right in the heart of the kingdom. But with Tears of the Kingdom, we've already played Breath of the Wild and been to Hyrule Castle. Although it's got a different design now and floats on an eruption of malice, I can't see it yet again being the main focus of Link's quest, again being the main anchor around which the open world exploration is designed. Instead, what if Link's goal is simply up? Instead of just re-exploring Breath of the Wild's Hyrule, occasionally finding a group of flying islands close to the surface, climbing up onto them and taking on the challenges they offer, Link might instead have to climb from lower islands to higher ones, continually making upwards progress as he climbs further and further away from the surface. Breath of the Wild was about strictly horizontal exploration across Hyrule, where the player hardly ever has to consider what's above or below them. So perhaps instead, Tears of the Kingdom will prioritise vertical exploration, climbing from the surface to the sky. Thematically, this design is perfect. The Sky Islands are heavily inspired by Shinto shrines, sacred places connected to the gods. If Link has to travel through the skies to purify himself or Hyrule in some way, then he's literally climbing into the heavens, moving further and further away from the land of the living and towards the kingdom of the gods. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like or subscribe if you haven't already for more Zelda content. And be sure to check out Commonwealth Realms channel, including a video that I feature on over there now. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.